Hello everybody, Brad Johnson here, and in this video we're going to be doing the Adronis Top 5 questions for November of 2018. Question number 1. What are the roles of intervention fleets, and is it common to find intervention fleets aiding other star systems around the galaxy like they are with us? We are here at this time, and we bid you greetings, and thank you very much for the opportunity of this interaction today. I'm Adronis of Sirius. We say hello to all who are tuning in to this broadcast through your internet collective consciousness. Regarding your first question, the role of the intervention fleets entails being able to create surveying, guardian, maintenance, shall we say, defenses around the idea of your own star system. So there are many different types of fleets in that sense. There are those who are assigned to different tasks. Some are therefore monitoring the planet, monitoring her conditions, very similar to in that sense about how a medic would monitor one's own heart rate or pulse, and again being able to, shall we say, keep in touch with their overall health as well. So there are fleets that are responsible for that. There are also other fleets that correspond to the other planets within your star system to ensure again that there is integrity there, yes. There are also other fleets in that sense that are working together with your sun, that are also in that sense doing checkups on your own sun as well too. There are also surveying fleets in that sense, where they are surveying other areas of space, either within, around, or beyond your own star system as well too. There are those that represent a defense force in that sense, that they are, shall we say, taking care of any particular form of celestial phenomena that may represent any particular form of intrusion on planets, or again, in other forms of areas upon your star system. And again, there are also those that are attempting to keep intruders out. So there are several different types as it relates to the intervention fleets with responsibilities that they are performing. Are other intervention fleets around other star systems? Well, it all depends. But we would say in the majority sense, yes, there are always some particular type of fleets that are operating on other star systems. Again, it all depends upon the star system in question. But there are those in that sense that offer aid to other planets, to other star systems, should they require any assistance, if they have reached that level of maturity to function as part of an intergalactic community, where there are other civilizations upon other worlds that have not reached that level of maturity. Then basically we would state that it would be very similar to what you're going through, to where intervention would be more hands-off. It would be happening behind the scenes, and there would not be too much quote-unquote noise taking place to give any particular form of reference that there is actually an intervention fleet or fleets that are, again, assisting in the maintenance of a star system. So again, this can be common. There are also those in that sense who have reached an advanced level of maturity where they are completely surveying and in that sense maintaining their own space through their own accord as well too. So again, it is very much a mixed bag. But we would say that you are not the only planet that is receiving intervention-based assistance. There are others as well too, though we would say that Earth would have, shall we say, the most attention as it relates to intervention at this time, because again, humans are basically coming out of being enslaved through control systems and are now getting to the point where they're going to start bringing the power back into their own hands and start taking care of themselves, each other, and the planet. So again, this is a transitional stage, but again, there still is certain levels of intervention that is required. You have to look at every particular star system as a particular garden bed, and that garden beds need to be maintained. Is that they are in that sense having soil samples done, they are planting seeds, they're making sure that the plants are growing appropriately, that there's no infections, there's no bacteria, there's no viruses, there's no invaders in that particular way. And so in that sense, that's really what star systems entail, is that they are garden beds, and so that they will have certain levels of intervention taking place. Of course, throughout your star system, there have been a multitude of different claimants as it relates to who they feel is actually running this particular star system based upon jurisdiction. But again, much in regards to the old claimants, such as what you would know as the Draco Empire, is going out of commission. They are again being, shall we say, pushed out of your star system, bit by bit. So again, there is new management that is, shall we say, administrating behind the scenes as it relates to interstellar intervention. So yes, this is happening. There are many different duties that are taking place. We've only just named some of the base ones. And over time, you will discover that as you mature and become an interstellar civilization yourself, you'll learn how to take care of a planet. You'll learn exactly what it requires from you. You'll learn about working together with your own star system, about other corresponding planets. You'll learn more about your sun, that again, your science hasn't even begun to understand, hasn't even begun to pick up. The same goes with your Earth. There's much to which your science has not even come close to understanding yet, as it relates in that sense to maintaining the Earth appropriately. So that is just an idea about what is ahead for you once you reach interstellar civilization status, we will say. We thank you very much. Question number 2. In caring for the energy body, is it important for us to bring conscious awareness in caring for it, such as spinning the chakra centers daily, for example? We thank you very much for your question. To answer your question, absolutely. It's very important that you are being consciously aware of your energy body. It's really no more different than how you're being consciously aware to move your arms or to move your legs or to feel like you are being conscientious of how you breathe in and how you breathe out. That's all part in that sense about how you're able to utilize your body more effectively. So when you start to understand its nature on energy, when you're actually working with your chakra centers, yes, you're tapping into them. You're getting an idea of their impression of integrity. You're therefore spinning them in an appropriate ratio to where you're actually feeling the aspect of subtle energy working through. It's almost like feeling that a pipe has been cleaned out that was previously clogged. You just know, you feel that the energy centers within your body are now becoming much more improved, that the flow in that sense is becoming much more stronger. And you can tell this by the increase of your own vitality. So if you are feeling that you are not very strong in vitality, you need to work on your energy body. So yes, you can certainly spin your chakras. Again, it all depends upon the rotation that is appropriate for the person themselves. So some may, in that sense, spin their chakra centers in a clockwise direction. Some may spin it in a counterclockwise direction. But again, you're all doing it in the way to where you feel that the, shall we say, energetic ventilation is taking place. It's clearing up the energy debris. So in that sense, you understand that your chakra centers are vortexes of energy, coming in, coming out, coming in, coming out. And so you are spinning them like a wheel or like a disc or like a vortex, whichever you prefer, and you're seeing them again just in their own native color. The red vibration, the orange vibration, the yellow vibration, the green vibration, the ice blue or turquoise vibration, the oceanic blue, or again for others, indigo ray vibration, and the higher violet vibration. And that you are connecting to those color patterns, and you're just imagining in your mind, again, seeing like a wheel, or a disc, or a vortex, and just being able to feel that spin happen throughout your own chakra centers. Again, this is helping to clear yourself out energetically. That the chakra centers, again, each of them represent a dimension. And it is through the 7 dimensions within the body, in that sense, through the primary chakra centers, that you are now starting to see a great deal of improvement taking place as you maintain them on a daily basis. So as you work together with yourself, you're working together with your reality dimensions, with how you experience the rainbow spectrum. When you're working together with something like the Dantians, this is a little bit more different because the Dantians act very differently as it would represent the chakra centers. The Dantians themselves do not really need to be spun on a daily basis. They are looking to be vitalized. And what that means is that you're actually cultivating your life force energy. You're cultivating your chi, and you're putting it in the Dantians as well. for they are elixir fields. So they do have a certain level of spin, but you're not basically having to manually spin them. You're vitalizing them by putting, in that sense, the cultivation of your own chi, your own life energy into them, to allowing them to be nurtured, to allowing them to be grown. Shall we say, prospering further as it relates to more energy that you're putting into the Dantian centers. So again, breathing is one particular way, just being able to work with the breath. Nice and soft breath in, nice and soft breath out, as you work and focus entirely on the lower Dantian. You're not focusing on the middle or the upper Dantian. You're completely staying within the reservoir that represents the foundation of the lower Dantian. And so you're putting all of your focus there. Some people will decide to use what's known as reverse breathing, where basically when you naturally inhale, your abdomen expands. And as you exhale, your abdomen retracts. And then you're basically doing it the opposite way. When you're inhaling, your abdomen retracts. As you exhale, your abdomen expands. So you're doing it in a reverse play. You can also do that. That also assists with improved cultivation. But again, it all depends upon where you are. If you are working together with the Dantians, again, you can do simple exercises that you find in your Tai Chi, that you find in your martial arts, that you find in your Qigong in that sense, working together with your elixir fields as it pertains to Dantians. You can also, again, work with your meridians. Again, just like you learn in acupuncture, just as you learn, again, in other particular forms of internal art practices, is that you're massaging, in a way, your own meridian centers within your body as well too, to allow energetic circulation to flow more smoothly. You're also working in that sense with your blood within your body, for the blood is what moves the chi. So as you start to work together with circulation, extending your arms, moving your body, rotating the hips, etc., and starting to work together with circulation, you're feeling on a very subtle level the idea of what you would know as your own chi moving throughout your body. The blood itself is chi, the chi itself is the blood, and you are moving it through in regards to the state of circulation. So that too is being very conscientious of your energy body. There are also many other different ways. The idea of working with your Merkaba vessel, to where you see your star tetrahedron representing yourself, going through certain rotation cycles as well too. That too is being conscientious of your energy body. Others in regards to stimulating acupressure points. That too is another conscientiousness of working together with your energy body. So we certainly recommend for all of you to be very conscientious in working with your energy bodies. So whether you're working with your chakras, you're working with your dantians, you're working with your meridians, you're working with your acupuncture points, you're working with your Merkaba vessel, whatever it may be, let it be brought forward in a harmony to where you're being conscientious and you're noticing the increase of vitality as you continue to work together with your energy body. Yes, this is, of course, very important. Question number 3. As the sun is now a fourth density star, and as its light comes upon the worlds, are there areas upon the earth that hold a higher vibration to a near fourth density level than others? We thank you very much for your question. The answer is yes, but on the surface you would not really find, in that sense, a fully immersed fourth density area. But there certainly are areas, yes. Now, these areas would be found in what you would know as your own grid maps, where you would find the intersecting ley lines coming together. Your own sacred sites upon your planet and their surrounding areas would be much more of the higher points, to where there would be, in that sense, a much more higher charge of energy. So wherever you're looking around the grid lines, wherever you're looking around the nexus points to where those grid lines, those ley lines intersect, you will find a great enrichment of that higher purified energy altogether. And of course, in other areas, you will find them within your forests. You will find them, and again, to where there is much more nature than there is actually civilization. So again, that is just giving you a rough start in that idea. But again, where there are low energies are often found within cities, are often found within metropolises. This is why many of you feel guided to actually go back to cities to start uplifting the populace there as well too. Not just that, but you're also noticing that you may go throughout the city and basically do certain types of rituals or again ceremonies, or other particular forms of procedures that are assisting in uplifting a great deal of the dense energy. It is actually much of your major metropolises and major cities that are actually requiring much of this uplifting energy the most. So again, wherever you go into retreats, wherever you go where nature is, the sacred sites upon your planet in that sense, yes, this is where the energy moving up into its highest degree is at its strongest. But again, we also recommend that those who are feeling personally guided to working together through the cities, working together with people, doing grid work as well too, doing blessings, doing meditations, doing prayers, doing other particular procedures to help uplift the energy. This is extremely important because it's the cities in that sense that are being backed up. It's again like a clog in the drain. And so there are many that are being called to being these torches in the darkness, to go into the cities and therefore start to create these procedures that they are being guided to create to help, in that sense, restore much of the dense energy that is contained. For it again, it is thought pollution. It is the aspect of emotional pollution that takes place in many of the city centers. So those of you that are guided to working together with the cities, again, you're being guided there for a reason. There is a particular reason for that. So again, this is something we also recommend for those in that sense who may have been in retreat for quite some time, will at some particular point feel that guidance to go back to the city, just as this conduit has, moving from, again, a very strong nature area and coming back into the city to do specific work, one among many. So that is what we can say as it relates to the higher charged areas of your planet, to again follow the grids, follow the nexus points, follow nature. That is where you will discover the highest degrees of energy. Question number 4. Is there still a chance of experiencing a polar shift, or has that time come and gone? We thank you very much once again for your question. The idea of a polar shift in that sense will be a continual form, yes, but it is something that will not quite go noticed. Now, basically, as it relates to manual polar shifting, which is really what's happening here, is that there are two very large polar vessels upon the northern and southern areas of your planet. When there are appropriate timing points to when your own Earth needs to shift somewhat slightly upon its axis, these two polar vessels will do so appropriately with very little effect and realization that this is actually happening. We understand that there have been prophecies in your past about a colossal polar shift that may wipe out a great deal of your planet. We would say this is not going to be taking place. You have moved past those particular timelines. We would say that many of the timelines where you felt that California in that sense would break apart, or New York City in that sense would sink into the ocean, or again a large comet or asteroid or meteor that's about to impact your planet, the idea of Planet X, a rogue planet, coming into your star system and smashing the Earth to pieces, no. Many of those particular timelines have been averted. You have moved past those ideas. So really in that sense, yes, there will be continual aspects of polar activity that will take place, and there will be certain shifts taking place as well too. But again, this is all happening behind the scenes. In fact, many of you will not even notice that it's happening until you actually look upon a night sky and notice that you're no longer in that exact form of trajectory to the stars as you once were, such as being able to monitor the North Star. Now, the idea is that there are also natural shifts taking place upon the planet, and that's really all that these polar vessels are doing. They are aiding and assisting in the natural shifts of your own planet on a polar level, and in that sense preventing any particular forms of quote-unquote rough turbulence along the way. But again, you basically go through 3 different North Stars every several thousands of years, from what you would know as your Polaris, from what you would know as your Vega, and from what you would know as your Fornax. Those 3 stars in that sense, over a great amount of time, become your North Star for certain periods of this timing. So again, yes, there are polar vessels. Yes, there have been certain shifts that have affected the idea of the tilt and the axis of your own world. But no, it is not leading to any particular form of mass extinction level event. It is not leading to some particular giant form of catastrophe. As we've stated that in regards to those Mass level extinction events, you have passed through many of them. Right now it's a time of exposure. Right now it's a time of disclosure. Right now it's a time of revealing for many of you. To, again, working with yourselves, working with each other, looking into where you have put your power and now taking that power back. That's where you are right now. So again, polar shifts, yes, will continue, but they are under maintenance. We thank you. Question number 5. What is the current situation between the inner Earth civilizations, the ET civilizations, and us humans? Are there talks happening that can update us on possibilities for contact and connection in the times ahead? We thank you once again for your question. Now, this is somewhat of a complicated question, and in that sense, somewhat of a complicated response. The answer is both yes and no, that there is certain levels of progress, but it is going slowly but surely. There have been contacts made within your inner Earth through certain ambassadors that, again, are also karmically associated together with the Earth experiment. So there have been ambassadors, we will simply call them as that have gone into your inner Earth and have had, shall we say, assemblies relating to many others, who in that sense are now being told to work together in helping humanity evolve. There are also meetings that have taken place to where there are, yes, certain inner Earth ambassadors that have gone off planet and to other certain forms of motherships. And they too have had certain forms of, shall we say, council meetings. That there is an integration pact taking place here. We have spoken previously in the idea in that sense of having a particular type of charter taking place here. The aspect of a mutual charter, or a declaration, you would say, that will eventually allow the inner Earth populations, who are again, looking to volunteer to work together with humans, and again, other extraterrestrial civilizations that are here to work together with you now, to therefore sign these dotted lines, where there will be this particular pact of no further intrusions pertaining to the idea of someone like the Draco. So again, what you're experiencing right now is to create a type of republic relating to the idea of the inner Earth civilizations, the surface civilization, and extraterrestrial civilizations that were basically in that sense work together as a common hub. But in that sense, as it relates to humanity, signing this charter, signing this declaration in that particular way, this can't happen until certain things are, shall we say, appropriated upon your surface. Again, it is basically abolishing the state of what you currently know as your governmental control. It is abolishing the idea of harming your planet. It is abolishing the idea of utilizing certain forms of toxins, chemicals, pollutants, and in that sense putting that in your atmosphere, poisoning your air, poisoning your water, poisoning your nature, poisoning yourselves. So there needs to be a lot of changes taking place before this type of charter is even introduced to you. So the idea of this charter, this, shall we say, declaration, is something that will be happening in what you would know as your future. Once there has been a lot of cleanup, once there has been a lot of sanitation taking place upon your planet, then certainly the idea to where global first contact will happen will be all part and parcel of introducing a charter like this to your people. And so therefore you will have that formal introduction. And again, a great more revealing of truth as you move throughout the years ahead, pertaining to other civilizations that are living beneath your feet, we can say, and again, those that are above your heads, and that there is all part of a conglomeration that is taking place here to ensure that Earth herself can live in a state of prosperity. We have also talked about the next 1,000 years, is that this really is a trial period for much of humanity as well too. And that again, it's all about being able to see how humanity progresses within these next 1,000 years. Because in these next 1,000 years, it is very unlikely that humanity will still remain upon the planet, because you will have migrated to many other worlds as well too. We still sense that in this particular timeline now, there will still be certain humans here. But again, the majority of the planet will actually start to, shall we say, introduce other forms of life, other civilizations, many of them being your hybrids. And so basically you could look at, within the next 1,000 years, the idea of hybrid humans coming upon your planet, and the idea of even certain extraterrestrials that are, again, maybe human or humanoid as well too, walking very commonly upon your surface, which means Earth will be an intergalactic exchange center, which means that it's not just quote-unquote human controlled, it's not just human populated, it's the idea to where it is being shared, and it is being open to that idea. And that is something that is looking to be rolled out within this next span of 1,000 years of time. So again, it's all about how humanity continues to evolve itself, continues to accelerate itself, to mature itself, to working together with each other. So there's no longer that personal internal discrimination between the different races of humans. There's no longer the personal level of discrimination as it relates to territories. There's no longer the idea of personal discrimination of classes or ranks or privileges just for a certain few. All of that needs to go. So as all of that needs to go, once you start to make that result happen, then again, this is how you are moving past that trial, because we would say that if humanity didn't evolve past these next 1,000 years, the Draco would be allowed to return again. And again, you may go through this all over again. And we're not saying this to scare you, but it's all part of your karmic cycles. It is to basically tell yourself, are you done with the nature as what you would know as rulership from others, to where others are holding a dominion over you? This needs to be tested. This needs to be trialed. And as you are testing yourselves to know that you have moved past that, then those particular forms of karmic imprints within yourselves have now reached a state of integration, of harmony. And you will not experience that again throughout your upcoming generations. So this too, again, is what's being worked on as well, and what is attempting to be notified to many of you as well too. We understand that many of you may have problems with this and saying, well, can't you just trust us? We know that in 1,000 years, we'll definitely make an improvement. And in that sense, yes, we can agree that there certainly seems to be a momentum, that there will be a lot of improvement, but there needs to be a great deal of improvement as it relates to now and these next 1,000 years. So again, we understand many of you may also say, well, Adronis, I may not even be part of those generations, so I don't even have to worry about it. This is happening now for you. This is the idea that you're cleaning yourself up now. You're working with others now. You're working with your planet now. You are creating benchmarks now. You are pioneering and blazing new trails now. We're not talking about in the next 1,000 years, that on that 1,000th year, yeah, now you have to get your act together. No, this is all starting here and now, because that momentum will span throughout that time rather quickly. Just like you understand your past 2,000 years, to which you would basically refer to as your dark ages. How quickly that came about, where there was very little change. There has been much more change on your planet in the last century than there has actually been in the past 2,000 years of your existence during that particular time. So this is showing in that sense how well you are progressing. But you're keeping it up. You're continuing to work with yourselves. You're putting yourselves first in that alignment of harmonizing all of these particular forms of doubts, hesitations, beliefs, traumas, tragedies through yourself and bringing them into the light. And you're working together with others. You are being a mirror consciousness with others, and you are working together with your planet to bringing her back into optimal health again. That is something as well you will be assisting with. So a lot of work to be done between now and these next 1,000 years, to which the trial period will end, and therefore will create the decision where humanity will be after that. Will there be a trial of the Draco? Or again, have you decided to move past that aspect of enslavement, of giving your power away, and you are completely being independent, reliant, and compassionate beings? That's the idea. That's where you're headed as you move through this greater span between now and the next 1,000 years of time, to where at some particular point in your not too distant future, where the aspect and introduction of this charter will be introduced to many of you. We thank you for the opportunity of this interaction today. I am Adronis of Sirius. We will now conclude and return to the conduit. Goodbye for now. Thank you everybody for tuning in to New Earth Teachings YouTube channel. Please feel free to visit our website, newearthteachings.com. Private sessions, digital courses, blog, free media, and a lot more. Again, newearthteachings.com. Thank you so much, and I look forward to speaking to you again in the next video. Take care.